Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and happy Halloween. Today's doll is a huge project because I participated in a Halloween doll collaboration hosted by Doll Color on Instagram. Everyone in the collab did an amazing job, so I encourage you to go to Instagram and check out all of these amazing customs. Sorry, I do not have a photo. This year I originally wanted to do an original character, but I didn't like any of the designs I do, so I looked for guidance from Doll Color. And she suggested that I make a doll based from folklore from where I live. And that did remind me of a ghost story from my neighborhood, but I didn't like that idea later. Doll Color also just suggested I make a character from a video game or movie. I didn't like that idea at first, but I eventually caved in and decided to make Alice Angel from the horror game Bendy and the Ink Machine. This doll gave me a lot of firsts, so get ready. One of these firsts is that I wrote a script for this video so you don't have to listen to me stutter all the time. You may also notice my new intro as well. Now, let's get on to the customizing. I decided to use this old Ever After High doll that has Frankie's head and one of Julia's hands for some reason. You can tell this doll has been through a lot due to the painted body, so one of the first steps is to take 100% acetone nail polish remover to get rid of the paint that has been layered on. The most important parts are the head and the hands because we want to see as much of the sculpting as possible. I also decided to take off her head so it was easier to paint. After most of the old paint is removed, I paint on multiple layers of watered down white gesso. You probably noticed that I didn't paint her legs. That's because I'll be covering them up later. I also painted her hands black for the gloves. I started with her face. First, I dusted on some pastels to bring some life to her face, but it didn't show off well. Next, I used my lightest watercolor pencil to sketch in the eyes. Then used black to make them show. I also did her lips. She looked very childish at first, which I didn't like, so I redid it. You also probably noticed that the watercolors show up more on one side of her face than the other. That's because one side is pure gesso and the other is some cheap paint that I got from the dollar store, and it gave it a sort of papery texture, so the pencils came out more pigmented. Usually when I finish the first layer of watercolors, I sponge on a few layers of matte sealant with water, but I didn't like it, so I took it off. Then I put on the papery bad paint, and it came out all chunky, and that was not good because I could not have that. So then I ended up sanding it down so it wouldn't be so, clumpy. But then I got sick of the face, so I moved on to the clothing and the shoes. This pair was a Julia Yelp shoes, I believe, and I took off all the drippy details and made them a lot cleaner. I really liked them. And then I painted them black. For some reason, when I made the clothes, I decided to film it on TikTok for some reason, just so everyone who follows me on TikTok could see what I was working on. So, sorry about the words. And I didn't film out of TikTok when I originally made them, so I had to download them and show them here. Using Delightful's simple dress pattern, I made her a cute little black dress. I decided to sew it close to her body because I know I'd never be taking it off. And I added the cute little gloves and the little bow on her dress, and I really like how the dress came out. Remember her unpainted legs? This is where we cover them up. Later on, I do decide to add a little belt bow thing to her dress because I felt it was a little bit plain and I wasn't looking at the original artwork. And now it's time for the face again. As you can see, I have sent it down and it still has speckles here for some reason. And for some reason I didn't film, so there's a giant time skip. And I thought a really sweet side glance would be really cute. And I got it on her face and added the little beauty mark on her face as well. I also forgot to mention that I added horns. I also glossed her eyes and lips and teeth as well. As you can see, when I put the head back on, some of the paint rubbed off, so I had to touch that up. It was an easy fix, but I'll have to remember that for the future for other dolls. If you're into doll customizing, then usually you like to do a reroute for your dolls because it stays in the best. But because I had painted on her before I did the face up, I didn't really have that choice. So I decided to glue on yarn wefts on her head. Straight onto her head. Not a wig, just straight onto her head. I brush out a whole bunch of yarn with my metal pet brush, making sure it's super duper fluffy, as you can see here. Then taking my hair iron to flatten it and make it shiny. After they're nice and straight, I glue them onto this weird plastic thing for some reason, let it dry, then peel them off and cut them down to size. I decided before I glued on the hair, why not add some fake 3D eyelashes? So I added them on and I absolutely love them. They came out so nice. Which, I do trim them, I think. Yeah, I do trim them. And I think they look absolutely amazing. As you can see, they're way too long here. Time to glue on the hair. I take just straight Elmer's glue from the bottle and stick on a weft, starting from the back going into a spiral. Once I completed that, I made her little halo, but it came out too little, so I did have to remake it.
A devil made from heaven and sent from above. Looks like Henry's got a little day, let's have some fun. We've got lots to do, little errand boy, come to me at cloud nine. To be the perfect angel, some sin must be done. You tell me what to do, what to
Now,
say.
I did lose a whole bunch of footage, but I will say I made her a microphone. Not this microphone, this was an old one that I made and it didn't work out. I also made her a pair of wings. And with that, she's done. I'm absolutely in love with her now. I can't believe that I made that. I also want to thank Doll Color for making this collaboration possible. Here's just a few photos of about over 90 participants this year, and everyone did an amazing job. You can also find them in my Instagram on this October 31st, and I just want to say thank you again. I had a lot of fun, and everyone was so nice in the community, and I want everyone to have a safe Halloween. Bye!